Hi everyone. Before we get into the thick of it, just the usual but very important heads up. This is purely for educational purposes. It's definitely not financial advice. You know the drill. Crypto is a high-risk game, so please always do your own research.
Okay, let's get into it. You ever look at a crypto ecosystem with all its different protocols and tokens and just think, okay, but how does this all actually connect? Where's the real value coming from? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're pulling back the curtain on the EMP Fusion ecosystem to map out how every single piece is designed to work together in one big, powerful system. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about the core idea, what we're calling the mothership. Then, we'll meet the 4 engines that actually power the whole thing. After that, we'll follow the money trail, see why this model is a game changer, look at how you can get involved, and then we'll wrap it all up. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the Fusion Mothership. To really get how this whole system works, you have to start right here, at the very heart of it all.
The best way to think about Fusion is like it's a giant parent company, the mothership. Now, this company doesn't just make one thing, it has a bunch of different successful product lines. And if you're an owner, a shareholder, you don't just get a cut from one product. No, you get a piece of the profits from all of them. That's what Fusion is. It's the central hub that vacuums up all the revenue from the entire ecosystem and then pays it out.
So, that sounds great, right? But if Fusion is the mothership, how do you actually get your piece of the pie? Well, that's where microgrids come into the picture. Buying and staking microgrids is exactly like buying shares of that parent company. It's your direct, verifiable ownership stake in the whole operation and all the money it makes.
And check this number out, 49 million. That is the total number of microgrids that will ever exist. The supply is completely fixed. It's locked in forever. Now, why is this so important? Because it means your ownership can't be diluted. No one can just fire up a printer and create more, shrinking your piece of the company. Your percentage is your percentage, period. Now, the rewards you get for that ownership are paid out in a token called eShare. And look at this supply. Just 60,000 tokens in total. That's an incredibly scarce asset, and that scarcity is a really key part of the whole economic engine, which we'll see in a bit. So just to recap, you own microgrids to get your share of the profits, and those profits are paid to you in the super-scarce eShare token. So the Fusion mothership is the center of everything, but it doesn't just magically create money on its own. It's actually fueled by 4 separate, hardworking revenue engines. Each one does its own thing, but they all contribute to that central treasury. Let's meet the engines. First up, you've got Plazm. It's a yield-generating staking protocol. But this isn't imaginary yield. Its treasury holds over 110 ETH in bonds, kicking out around $700 a day in real cash flow that goes straight to Fusion. Second, there's DexFi, which is the yield infrastructure for the ecosystem. It has about $6 million in value locked up, and it generates steady platform fees that also feed the mothership. Third, we have HVM. This is a high-quality game that's in the works, and it represents future growth, with all the revenue from things like in-game purchases funneling right back to Fusion. And last but not least, the marketplace itself is an engine. Every time someone buys or sells a microgrid, there's a 3% tax. And guess where that money goes? Yep, directly into the Fusion treasury. So you've got 4 totally different engines, all bringing in diversified streams of revenue to power one system. Okay, so we know what Fusion is, and we know what powers it. Now for the bit you've been waiting for. How does that money actually get from those engines into your wallet? Let's trace the path. Let's follow the Revenue Waterfall. You know, it's actually a pretty elegant and simple 3-step process. So in step 1, those 4 engines, Plazm, DexFi, the marketplace, and later HBM, are all out there doing their thing, generating revenue. Then in step 2, Fusion acts like a giant funnel. It just collects all those different streams of cash and pulls them into one big pot. And finally, step 3, that collected revenue is paid out directly to everyone staking microgrids, and it's paid in eShare rewards. Simple as that.
And you might be asking, well, how much do I get? It's just simple, transparent math. The slice of the profits you receive is directly tied to how many of the total staked microgrids you own. So let's say you own 1% of all the microgrids that are currently staked in the system. You get exactly 1% of all the profits Fusion collects. It's direct, it's fair, and it's clear.
And this is where the design gets really smart, because it creates this amazing feedback loop. Think about it. As the 4 engines get busier and make more money, more revenue flows into Fusion. This means bigger, more valuable eShare rewards get paid out, which naturally increases demand for that very scarce token. Now, since eShare is also a key ingredient in Plazm's liquidity pools, a more valuable eShare makes those pools stronger.
And guess what? Stronger Plazm pools perform better and generate even more yield for Fusion. It becomes this incredible self-reinforcing cycle where success just keeps breeding more success.
So we've covered the what and the how, but now let's talk about the why. I mean, why go to all the trouble of building a system like this? What are the real advantages for you as an owner?
This right here is the absolute key difference that sets this whole model apart. It is built on real yield, not inflationary rewards. See, most projects in DeFi pay you by just printing their own token out of thin air. It feels good for a bit, but it's constantly diluting your value. Fusion is totally different. Your rewards are funded by real external revenue, trading fees, platform taxes, and actual game sales. It's a sustainable business model that's backed by real cash flow, not a magic token printer.
So this design gives you three massive advantages. First, you get diversification. You're not just betting on one horse. If one of the engines has a slow month, the other three can pick up the slack, which makes your position much safer. Second, as we said, you're earning sustainable, real yield. And third, and this is huge, it creates perfectly aligned incentives. The team has every reason to build profitable products because that money flows directly to you, the stakers. Everyone is on the same team, rowing in the same direction.
So, if this all makes sense and you're thinking you might want to be a part of it, the question is, how do you actually get started? Well, the path to ownership is actually incredibly simple.
It really just comes down to 4 easy steps. First, you just head over to the official marketplace. Step 2, you purchase however many microgrids you want. Step 3, you stake them. And that's it. As soon as your microgrids are staked, you are officially an owner and you will start earning your proportional share of all that ecosystem revenue.
All right, let's bring it all home and get to the bottom line here. When you just zoom out and look at the whole picture, you can see there's a really clear and powerful philosophy at work.
This is really the core idea of the entire system. Every single protocol, every fee, every new feature they build, it's all designed with one ultimate purpose: to generate revenue that flows back to the Fusion Mothership. And from there, it flows directly to you, the owner. Every road is designed to lead right back to the stakers. So if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Fusion is not just another crypto token. It's an ownership system. It is the mothership that ties together multiple real revenue businesses to create shared ownership and deliver real sustainable yield to everybody who participates.
And just one last time to wrap things up, please remember this has all been for educational purposes. Investing in cryptocurrency comes with significant risk, and you could lose everything you put in. Make sure you do your own thorough research before making any financial decisions. Thanks for watching.